All right, everybody take a collective deep breath in and out. The Dallas Cowboys get the job done on the road, 27-20 over the Washington football team. A crucial win in the NFC East, one that looked dominant from the get-go. They jumped out to a 24-0 lead, but really down the stretch, it was not so dominant for the Dallas Cowboys, and we've got plenty to talk about as we welcome you into the First Word, presented by Dr. Pepper, Barry Church, Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Youmans, and Isaiah, I'm going to start with you across the table. It wasn't pretty toward the end, but Dallas did enough in the first half to distance themselves from Washington, and ultimately they come out on top.
Yeah, I mean, that's the ultimate result, right? The victory, right? And that's awesome. But when you start looking at the character and the makeup of your team and how you finish games, especially when you start talking about the NFC East and this late push towards the playoffs, you have to take a deep dive into looking at the identity of your team. Offensively, this team is very inconsistent. Dak Prescott, I'm not sure what's going on, but we need to identify what's going on with him and how to improve that. Defensively, we're seeing a doggone mastermind come together as all these guys are starting to play well underneath this Dan Quinn system.
I tell you what, Dan Quinn, thank you today. Thank you, Neville Gallimore, for coming back, Randy Gregory for coming back. These guys got sacks. These guys got turnovers. These guys got interceptions. We needed that in the first half, man, to pull this out because our offense is very, very inconsistent, as Isaiah has said.
Yeah, the offense was inconsistent. It was stagnant out there for the most part. And like you said, Nate, you got to thank the defense on this one. They were all over the place. We all talked about the big three heading into this game. What were they going to be able to do? How were they going to be able to impact the game? They took this thing over. I'm talking about Gregory off the edge, Lawrence off the edge, and then you got that defensive weapon, Parsons. No matter where you line him up, he's affecting the game. This guy is a straight dog. So props to the defense. Offense, you need a little bit more work going on. Come on now.
Okay, which one you want to start with? You want to start with the defense just because it was a win? Because they were fantastic in this ball game. 224 total yards. Talk about 4 takeaways, 5 sacks, including a clutch play down the stretch from Randy Gregory, forcing that fumble on the strip sack of Kyle Allen to ultimately allow Dallas to run out the clock. What did you see from this defense that really just made them next level this afternoon?
It was next man up. All these guys nobody wanted to be left out today defensively. Everybody wanted to say, hey, it was my turn. Okay, you want to make a play? Okay, no, it's your turn to make a play. Or no, it's my turn to make a play. Everybody wanted in on this, and that's exactly what you want to see. This is a rejuvenated defense. These guys are excited to play the game. They're excited to play for Dan Quinn, and they're having fun playing together. You're seeing all these guys do what they do best. Gregory make plays on the outside, interceptions, sacks, forced fumbles. You're allowing Gallimore's back, bull rushing guys up the middle. You got Parsons creating trouble. All these guys are being allowed to being highlighted to do exactly what they do best, and that's make plays.
You know, and we look at a lot of our guys. You know, I'll take Anthony Brown. He had an opportunity to make some great plays today. That's because that pressure up front you're talking about. They're dialing it up. They're playing. And you know what? They're rushing forward for the most part. And that is a great thing. When you can rush forward, fall back in coverage, keep your safeties back for the most part. Church, you know how that is when y'all roaming, man.
Ooh, you love it when you're roaming back there, and then that rush and cover, they seem to work together. I mean, like you said, that defensive line was getting after Heineke out there, forcing him to make decisions before he was ready. But 2 things I loved about this defense. The secondary, everything was contested. You know, there was no busts in coverage. Even though Diggs gave up that long touchdown, it was an amazing play by Sims. He had to make an amazing play. And in the trenches, we can't overstate how much Neville Gallimore means to this team because that interior rush was killing us these past couple of weeks. He gets in there, stops everything. It was a great defensive performance.
Well, a lot of the questions prior to this matchup were how much of a difference are Neville Gallimore and Randy Gregory going to have on this defense? And I think, Barry, you saw that in the second half, or really throughout the game, honestly, because the secondary was opened up, and there were so many different opportunities for guys like Anthony Brown, Trayvon Diggs. It was that complementary football, at least on the defensive side, that was able to get to that point. Now, let's talk about the offense, because it was a struggle for Dak Prescott and company as Dak ends up with 2 turnovers, both of them pretty blatant interceptions, one to Landon Collins and then the other one to Holcomb at the end that resulted in a pick 6 to make it a 1-possession game. Isaiah, you've said it for a little bit of time. Since the calf injury, Dak has not looked the same. This might have been his worst performance of the year underneath a 60 quarterback rating.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean, this is a continuation of what we've been seeing since the calf injury, like Kyle just mentioned. I'm not sure what's going on, but ever since that injury, he has not been comfortable in the pocket. Ever since that injury, he hasn't found those lanes in the pocket to be able to step up. Ever since that injury, he hasn't been able to really set his feet and deliver the ball accurately with confidence. Every time Dak throws the ball now is really a question mark. You really kind of hold your breath as to what's going to happen on the other end of that pass, and that is something that you never have seen with him, and we have to figure out exactly what the root source of this is, because it is going to hurt this team as they try to make a playoff push.
You know, I think he sacked 4 times. You can't have that. A lot of those sacks weren't about your offensive line. It's about him holding the ball, I guess, waiting for guys to come over perfectly. You see the ball selling on him. I think that's mechanics. I don't know for sure what is going on, but Dak, you need to settle yourself down, reevaluate self, and then come back out for a better game next year. That was he was so inconsistent.
Yeah, he was extremely inconsistent out there. And the questions I have, I mean, how many times did we see so far this season where Dak will run, escape by time, and he launches one deep, and there's Gallup, there's Cooper running underneath it. But like you said, Isaiah, I mean, now when he's throwing the football, everybody's holding their breath. They don't know if it's going to be an incompletion, a catch, an interception. And there was 2 interceptions today. I mean, they were completely bad. So Dak Prescott definitely needs to step it up a little bit, and we need to find a run game as well, because that alleviated a lot of the pain when the run game was clicking. So to me, find a run game, Dak, self-evaluate, you got to get better.
I'm glad you brought that up, because the defense did its job to put the offense in situations to take advantage. 15 points off of turnovers in that first half were the reason you really won this football game. But it wasn't just on Dak Prescott. It was a collective group offensively that really needs to come together, much like the defense did in this win for the Dallas Cowboys. Let's take a look at some of the final stats as we say so long here from the first word, presented by Dr. Pepper. The Cowboys up over 300 yards, but it was an ugly 300 yards. A couple takeaways, 6 total. But the Cowboys defense stands strong, holding Washington to just the 20 points. And actually, the defense only giving up 14 of those points along the way. But that does it for us here on the first word. Cowboys win it over the Washington football team, 27-20.